The closer we get to the NFL draft, the worse things seem to be getting for Tua Tagovailoa. You go back to the beginning of last college football season, and he was projected to be the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft. Now, me personally, I never understood why. Tua's good. I'm not going to take that away from him. But I'm always cautious with quarterbacks that come out of Alabama. Nick Saban has never developed a quarterback that has made it at the NFL level. From his time in Michigan State to LSU to Alabama, I can't think of one quarterback that was developed by Nick Saban that made it big at the NFL level. Do you remember Jamarcus Russell? He is one of the biggest busts in the history of the league. He was a Nick Saban quarterback. Quarterbacks that come out of Alabama, they either go undrafted, get drafted, and they're out of the league 2 or 3 years later, or they're career backups like A.J. McCarron. Anyway, at the beginning of the 2019 college football season, Tua was projected to be the number 1 overall pick. Since that time, his draft stock has fallen. In the past week or two, it seems to be falling at a rapid pace. He went from being the number 1 pick to being projected in the top 5. Then it was, he's a top 10 pick. Now you have some draft boards that have him being drafted at number 17 by New Orleans, which I don't think is going to happen because Sean Payton has what he believes is his successor to Drew Brees and Taysom Hill. Other draft projections have Tua taking the Aaron Rodgers path and falling late into the first round. Now, I've said it before right here on this channel that if New England does not draft Tua, I could actually see him falling into the second round of the draft. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to come to that. Now, the biggest concern surrounding Tua is his health. The coronavirus pandemic could not have happened at a worse time for him because he can't go work out for potential teams and show them that he's 100% healthy, that his hip injury is no longer bothering him. So no one really knows if the injury's still affecting him or not. All they can go off of is Instagram or his YouTube videos that he posts or reports from doctors. And one doctor didn't do Tua any favors on Monday, a mere 3 days before the draft takes place. David Chow is a former NFL team doctor, and he said that Tua has a 1 to 9% chance of playing in all 16 games his rookie season. Now, to be fair, David Chow was not trying to criticize Tua. He pointed out that something like 50% of starting quarterbacks in the NFL last year were injured and missed games at some point in the season. He pointed to examples like Drew Brees, Big Ben, Cam Newton, which is all true. All 3 of those guys missed games last year. Big Ben missed damn near the entire season. But all 3 of those guys have also been durable the majority of their NFL career. 2019 was the first time that Drew Brees or Big Ben have missed significant time. It was the same with Cam Newton. When these guys are healthy, when they were younger, you could not get them off the field. Tua has tried to defend his injury status. I get it. He said that this is not badminton we're playing. It's football. Football is a contact sport. Injuries are bound to happen. Well, no shit. We all know that. But the problem is Tua more susceptible to injury and missing games than other quarterbacks in this draft? The truth is, we really don't know, and there's no way to know. All we can go off of is history. So I went back and looked at quarterbacks who battled injuries throughout their college career to see if it followed them when they made it to the NFL level. And what I found out does not help Tua's case. Back in 2009, Sam Bradford got hit with 2 shoulder injuries in his final season at Oklahoma. And these were major injuries too. These were not minor injuries. But he was so good throughout his college career that it didn't affect him in the draft. He was still the number 1 overall pick in the 2010 draft. Sam Bradford actually played all 16 games his rookie season, one of only 2 times he did that through his entire NFL career. 2011, missed 6 games. 2013, tore his ACL in October of that year, missed the last half of the season. 2014, tore his ACL again, missed the entire season. 2015, another shoulder injury caused him to miss 2 games. Fast forward to 2017, more leg injuries. Now, Sam Bradford's out of the fucking league. He was the primary reason the NFL restructured their rookie contracts for guys coming out of the draft. No more number 1 overall draft picks getting $50, $60, $70 million a year coming out of college heading straight to the NFL. That is done. Robert Griffin III is another example. He was the number 2 pick back in the 2012 draft, drafted by the Redskins. September 2009, he tore his right ACL the 3rd game of the season at Baylor. That injury ended up being the precursor to the demise of his NFL career before it ever really began. He sprained his right knee late in the 2012 season. Then, we all know what happened next. He played injured in that playoff game against Seattle, I think it was, when he had absolutely no business being on the field. Mike Shanahan was dragged through the mud for playing Robert Griffin III in that game. We all know what happened. He ended up tearing the same ACL and the meniscus in his right knee, and he's never been the same player. Do you remember Jake Locker? He was drafted number 8 overall in 2011 by the Titans. He battled a hamstring injury before the 2008 season when he was playing college at Washington. A month or so later, broke his thumb, missed the remainder of the 2008 season. He stayed on the injury report his entire NFL career. Missed 5 games in 2012, 9 games in 2013, multiple games in 2014. The fucking guy could not get on the field when he was in the NFL. Played more than 10 games in a season once his entire career. Lasted 4 years in the NFL. Now he's out of the league. Probably selling car insurance somewhere. I'm sure there are also examples of players that battle injuries through college that have had successful NFL careers. Some guys are built tougher than others. They're more durable. Some can handle the injuries. Some can handle the grind of the NFL, the stress of NFL life. Other people can't do it. It's just the way it is. The problem is there's no way of knowing who can and who can't handle it. NFL teams are a lot more cautious nowadays about players that have battled injuries throughout their college career and are now entering the draft than they have been in the past. 10 years ago, back 2010, 2009, if Tua was entering the league then, his injury history might have been cause for concern, but it wouldn't have a big impact on where he was drafted. Today, it's potentially going to have a huge impact on where he ends up being drafted. Justin Herbert is now considered to be the second best quarterback in this draft. It also doesn't help that Tua is barely 6 feet tall and has average arm strength. This does not have to be bad news for Tua, though. It could actually be a blessing in disguise. Draft day back in 2005 was a long-ass night for Aaron Rodgers. He was expected to be a top 10 pick in that draft, in a draft that was very weak when it comes to quarterbacks. It was really between him and Alex Smith. That was really the only 2 quarterbacks in that draft. We all know the story. The Niners take Alex Smith with the number 1 pick. Aaron Rodgers falls all the way to 24, ends up being drafted by the Packers. Who do you think's had the better NFL career? Aaron Rodgers. It worked out pretty well for him. It could be the same for Tua. One of the problems with being drafted top 5, top 10 early in the first round is most of the time you're being drafted by a shitty team. I've said it before on this channel. I feel bad for Joe Burrow because he's going to a place where NFL careers go to die with the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm not even going to sit here and waste time talking about how pathetic the Bengals are as an organization. But it's the same case with some of the other teams drafting early. Tua was linked to Miami before the storm of negativity has overtaken him the past couple of weeks. Now Miami's looking to draft Justin Herbert, but the Dolphins have been irrelevant since Dan Marino. So it's not exactly an ideal place to start your NFL career. The Redskins, mentioned them earlier with RG3. They've got the number 2 pick. Now, they're not likely to draft a quarterback, but if you're Tua, do you want to start your NFL career in Washington? I mean, who in the fuck wants to play for Dan Snyder, one of the worst owners in pro sports? The Redskins haven't been a threat in the NFL since the early 90s. If you're Tua, do you really want to play for the Chargers? The only team in the NFL with no fan base? The only team in the league that plays 16 road games a year? Phillip Rivers is a future Hall of Fame quarterback. He couldn't even make the Chargers relevant. My point is, being drafted late in the first round is not the end of the world for Tua. It could be a blessing in disguise. I think he's going to end up being drafted by New England. Whether they trade up to get him or they wait and draft him with their pick late in the first round. Either way, I think the Patriots will draft Tua. It does not get more ideal than starting your NFL career with Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Robert Kraft, unlike Dan Snyder, is one of the best owners in pro sports. Obviously, Bill Belichick is a legend. The only issue in New England would be the pressure on Tua of being the guy that replaces Tom Brady. That is big shoes to fill. But even if he goes somewhere like New Orleans, like some of the mock drafts suggest, it'll be a much better situation than being drafted by most of the teams in the top 5, top 10. He would be able to sit for a year behind Drew Brees. He would have one of the best offensive minds in the league coaching him in Sean Payton. I know guys like Tua want to be drafted as high as possible. It's an ego thing as much as it is about the money, though the money isn't near what it used to be before Sam Bradford fucked it up for everybody else. But dropping to the mid to late first round in the draft will probably be better for Tua's NFL career long term. That is, if he's durable enough to make it long term in the NFL. All right, that's all for today. I know the big news coming out yesterday was the Patriots trading Rob Gronkowski to Tampa Bay, rejoining Tom Brady. He's coming out of retirement. I will probably get to that either Thursday or Friday. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Click that notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Leave me a comment in the section below. Let me know what you think about Tua. Do you think his injury history is cause for concern? Do you think it's going to cause him to drop out of the top 5, top 10? And will being drafted later in the first round be better for his NFL career? You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. I will see you next time.